A man originally convicted of killing his parents will have another trial after that verdict was overturned.
Coming up, we'll show you how to put together a family emergency kit to keep you and your family safe from severe weather year-round.
And how a middle school teacher helped catch a man who had stolen her mother's identity.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good afternoon to you. For the first time since his conviction for double murder was overturned, a man accused of gunning down his parents went back in front of a Scott County judge today. The state Supreme Court ordered a new trial for James Anthony Gray last month. The court process is now starting over. Mike Byer has our top story at 5:30.
James Anthony Gray stood in an all-too-familiar spot this afternoon, standing next to his attorney while facing a Scott County judge.
What I've asked is, once we know for a fact that there's not going to be a motion to reconsider, we plan on coming back here on the 24th, and I'm going to be asking for a trial date.
This after the Kentucky Supreme Court reversed the 2013 convictions of Gray in the murder of his parents, deeming that a confession used during his trial was illegally obtained by sheriff detectives. The state's high court also ruled Gray's defense should have been allowed to argue another person committed the murders.
We won't have to deal with that false confession. We'll also be able to present with the jury the alternative perpetrator, the person we believe that actually committed the murder.
This will be Gray's third trial. His first trial ended in a mistrial in 2012. He was then tried again in February of 2013 when a jury convicted him of gunning down his parents, James and Vivian Gray, in their Sadieville home in 2007. Gray was sentenced to 45 years in prison for the murders, a crime his attorney still believes the evidence will show another man committed.
We're going to be able to present that this time.
It will all take place during a third trial, one Gray's attorney tells us his client is looking forward to. In Scott County, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Gray's next hearing will be on March 24th, where his trial date will likely be scheduled. And also in Scott County, a man accused in a deadly crash headed back to court this morning. Investigators say Mohammed Abdullah was driving recklessly when he hit another car, killing a teenager, Emily Sams, and injuring her parents. Abdullah's GPS has been seized, and lawyers asked to have time to review the information found from the device, as it may contain information confirming that he was speeding at the time of that crash. Two men are behind bars after leading police on a chase in a stolen car. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Laurel County. Kentucky State Police say 46-year-old Douglas Jackson of Dayton, Ohio, fled from authorities yesterday after he was caught driving recklessly and running another driver off the Hal Rogers Parkway. Jackson ran for nearly 4 miles, hitting another driver during the chase before he lost control and ran over an embankment. Jackson and his passenger, 26-year-old John Storr, then tried to flee on foot before they were apprehended by state troopers. In Warren County, Bowling Green police have made an arrest 3 days after a shooting at an apartment complex. Police arrested 24-year-old D'Antoine Steen in connection with the shooting that sent 18-year-old Mario Lopez to the hospital Tuesday night. Police said they found a black Toyota SUV at Steen's property that matched a description from the shooting. They also found a gun holster that matched the gun recovered from the crime scene. And in Martin County, schools were closed today after yesterday's snowfall covered the region with several inches. Deputies responded to more than a dozen snow-related crashes. No injuries were reported, though.
Most of them just vehicles that ran off the roadway into the ditch line or over the hill. There was one that could have been a very bad accident. It totaled the vehicle. People were very fortunate to escape injury.
Deputies say at one point they had more than 20 calls about cars being stuck or in an accident. Well, after a quick burst of snow, it looks like we'll have plenty of sunshine and some warmer temperatures this weekend, but those rising temperatures could lead to thunderstorms. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is live now at the Richmond Road Kroger Marketplace, and he joins us with an early look at the forecast and how you can actually protect yourself from severe weather if and when it happens. Chris?
You're exactly right, Amber. A lot of folks have been coming by out here. We have Midland weather radios. We've got a couple of versions for you to choose from. They're at a discount price, and we're also hooking you up with a free programming for those weather radios as well. So if you're only in Fayette County, you only want warnings for Fayette County, we will program it to only give you a warning for Fayette County or surrounding counties. We will hook you up here. We're here through 6:30 this evening. As you mentioned, Kroger Marketplace on Richmond Road in Lexington. Heading into the weekend, and we are dealing with some fair skies across parts of the area this afternoon. It's been ugly across eastern Kentucky with a lot of clouds taking shape. We take a little look outside, and as you can see right now on those live sky cams, certainly more clouds than any type of sunshine showing up. We're looking at those sky cams in eastern Kentucky where you can still see snow on the ground across parts of the Mountain Parkway corridor and certainly into Moorhead where you picked up several inches of heavy wet snow yesterday. 37 Moorhead, 40 right now Lexington, and a lot of upper 30s to low 40s across sections of central Kentucky. And as we go through the evening on your Defender Radar Network, nothing really out there. Maybe a little sprinkle into southeastern Kentucky with some thicker cloud cover down there, trying to break up the clouds across north central parts of the area, taking its good old sweet time and getting on into town with the clearing line that is probably never really going to make it through most of the area. But as we look ahead for the evening, that is upon us. Temperatures will drop through the 30s and we'll wind up 30, 32 degrees by late this evening. And thermometers may actually come up a little bit late tonight and early tomorrow morning as winds begin to gust up ahead of our next cold front that we will track into town for your Saturday forecast. Hour by hour outlook. Amber comes your way in just a matter of minutes.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. And if you're looking to get your own home prepared for severe weather, a family emergency kit could be just the thing. WKYT's Mike Linden continues our Severe Storms Preparedness Month coverage with what you can do to stay ready.
While it's not officially the spring in Kentucky, it doesn't mean we can't see severe weather in March.
It can snow, it can rain, it can storm, we can have tornadoes, we can have flash flooding. Just about anything can happen in March, and over the past decade, it has.
That's why emergency management leaders around the state have deemed this month as Severe Storms Preparedness Month.
Give us the hazardous weather outlook.
If severe weather comes your way, EMA directors say having a family emergency kit is a must.
Well, a family emergency kit has some of the basic items everyone needs to be self-sustaining for 72 hours.
Bobel says above all else, a NOAA weather radio is the most important piece of gear in a family emergency kit. And especially if you lose power, this comes in handy because this particular radio has a crank attachment on the back of it, where all you have to do is crank it up and it can generate power. It'll even charge your cell phone.
A family emergency kit can be put together for about $150 on average. Bobel says even if severe weather never comes your way, it's better to have a kit than not.
But it's important that you keep these items together so that when you need them in case of emergency, they're in one place, you can grab them, you can use them, and if you need to evacuate, you can go.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
And here's a really good tip. When putting a family emergency kit together, don't forget about your pets. Bobel says a second kit with 3 days worth of food and water, a leash, and a current vaccination report are a must. Identity theft can happen to anyone at any time. As our own Sam Dick reports, surveillance photos helped catch a thief trying to steal from an elderly woman with some detective work from her own daughter.
There was not a penny in her account. Not in her checking account, not in her savings account.
Georgine Woodley was shocked when her 86-year-old mother called saying she was getting delinquency notices. As a co-signer on her account, she quickly contacted the bank.
You know, you went and you opened up your card, you swiped it at the bank, and I said, I never did that. And so I said, I never asked for a card.
The middle school teacher now knew someone had stolen her mother's identity and more than $17,000 from her accounts.
My mother was frightened. She really was afraid, and I was just angry. I was really mad, and I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of took matters in my own hands.
Georgine started calling the stores where items were purchased.
They got cards, they got computers, you name it, they got it. And so I just started calling and I said, do you have any footage.
As you can see, they did. These surveillance photos show a man using a card belonging to Georgine's mother at several stores.
It was a situation where there's basically buying all they could as quick as they could.
Georgine's mother has now moved in with her, but she wants to remind others to talk to their parents about checking their statements and accounts.
I think they have to have somebody that's helping them and reminding them.
That was our Sam Dick reporting. The defendant in the case pled guilty and was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison. He was also ordered to pay nearly $17,000 in restitution. Tomorrow, Kentucky voters will take to the polls for the Republican presidential caucus, but that's not the only election in the Bluegrass to keep an eye on. Bill Bryant has more in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. Kentucky's long-anticipated Republican presidential caucus is tomorrow, and GOP voters can visit their designated location between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. A poll by a research group at Western Kentucky University conducted last week shows Donald Trump was leading in Kentucky at that time. Trump has also been the only candidate who is still active to visit the state. Trump took time out on Super Tuesday to hold a rally in Louisville. As you know, Ben Carson was also in Lexington early in the week, but he has since idled his campaign. And Marco Rubio canceled a scheduled Kentucky appearance in Lexington today. It remains to be seen if this caucus is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. It happened because Rand Paul wanted to run for president and for re-election for the Senate and could only get on the primary ballot once. He convinced state party leaders to go along if he paid for it. Congressman Andy Barr obviously sees it as a chance to be out and about among committed Republican voters. His office announced a schedule for Barr visiting 5 voting locations tomorrow. He'll start at West Jessamine High, then travel on to Henry Clay High School and Northeast Christian in Lexington before going to the caucus in Georgetown and then down to Richmond in the afternoon. There will be no break from politics after the caucus. Special legislative elections are set for Tuesday in 4 districts that could determine future control of the Kentucky State House. On Kentucky Newsmakers, I talk with the 2 candidates in the 62nd District. Republican Philip Pratt and Democrat Chuck Tackett are both from Georgetown. They're running in the district that includes Owen County, Scott County, and a sliver of Fayette County. Again, caucus info throughout the day tomorrow on air and on WKYT.com. And don't forget our special report tomorrow evening at 7 when we expect the first results. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
And as Bill just mentioned, you can join he and myself for complete caucus coverage tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock as those first results are released. We'll be here for you at 7. The Keeneland Library will hold its second duplicate book sale next week. It will be held on Friday, March 11th to the 12th between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. at the Keeneland Entertainment Center. Some 7,000 items, including books, journals, magazines, and posters, will all be up for sale.
These are all duplicates. They come from various either purchases or gifts that we've received over the years. We finally have had the time and the staff to process through these gifts, compare them to the Keeneland Library copy, keep the best copy, and then offer them to the public.
The books come from as far back as the 19th century. Proceeds from the sale will be used to help the library preserve its collection and offer outreach and research services.